At the recent World Rapid and Blitz Championship, two names stood out. One was Magnus Carlsen, the greatest of his generation. Gold in both Rapid and Blitz. The other was Faustino Oro, a 12-year-old, already one of the most talked about talents in chess. They were both there, but they never met across the board. Until now.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for coming.
I think he's a great player. He has a wonderful positional feeling for chess, which is quite rare among such young players. And he seems to really, really love chess.
And we're off. Faustino gets the white pieces in this blitz game. The time control is 3 minutes each plus 2 seconds increment. And the first surprise already. After 1e4, Magnus has started with the Nimzovich defense. Provocative move, meaning that he brings his knight out to c6 on move 1. But now, starting to transpose into the modern defense, giving white the center, but black will fianchetto his bishop and get castled. Very tentative start to this game. Faustino just developing his pieces here, very calmly. Magnus is the first to castle, and Faustino with a big decision. How does he complete his development? Which side does he castle his king? He moves his queen up. That move given the thumbs up by the computer there. And decision time now to castle or not to castle, to block up the center or to explode things open. Faustino will show his hand, will show his mood over the next moves. And there we go, he castles. So brave, opposite side castling, meaning he really wants to attack the world number one. He wants the win. He wants chaos. Magnus not looking too happy, but a pawn exchange there. And now just shuffling his rook to attack in the center. Again, Faustino now with some decisions to make. Does he trade off knights? Does he just defend his pawn in the center? There we go. He pushes a pawn himself, given the thumbs up again. And now Magnus has to decide how to attack that white king. He needs to do something before Faustino is ready to just throw pawns on the black king side. And white's attack will play itself. Long think from Magnus here. What is he going to do? It is blitz. He's the king of blitz. And after a bit of a think, there we go. He lashes out, pushes his pawn in the center, trying to blow things open. He's hoping that the black pieces are ready. But are they? That is the big question. Faustino looking very calm. Magnus not looking too thrilled with his position. And a move, a pin, exclamation mark. The bishop comes out to put pressure on the black knight and the rook behind it. And Magnus now needs to come up with some very clever moves just to stay in the game. Already black is on the back foot. How to react. There we go. He moves his bishop out. It looks like a pawn sacrifice though. Will Faustino capture in the center? There's a black pawn up for grabs. That is the critical move. He's calmly thinking about it. He's stretching out. It's a big table. Magnus has the longer arms. Faustino will need to reach across the board at some point to capture those black pieces. A long think now by the youngster. He's calculating. He's looking into the future, trying to figure out exactly what comes next. What does Magnus have up his sleeve? Are there any tricks, tactics? Those normally happen when there are captures in the air. Magnus might be looking pretty nonchalant right now, but he's doing the same. He's trying to work out just how he finds compensation. If Faustino takes the pawn, and he does. There we go, a capture in the center. Will Magnus trade knights? He needs to move his knight away somewhere. There we go, he captures. There's tension now between the bishops. Faustino captures a black bishop, but given the thumbs down, not a good move. He should have probably taken that knight in the center, just calmly taken it back with his bishop. Magnus pausing. The obvious move would be to take back that bishop, but does he have something better up his sleeve? And ooh, he reaches for his knight, and it's a Zwischenzug, sacrifice, a brilliant move. We saw the double exclamation marks appear there. The white queen was attacked. If the knight had been captured, then black would have taken back the white bishop on d7 with a slightly better pawn structure. We see that happen anyway. Faustino is going to take back that black knight with his queen instead. And the dust has settled finally. Level material after a bit of a tactical mess there. But Magnus, he has a great bishop. He has some open lines for his pieces. The white king is a bit airy. And ooh, Magnus fumbling pieces, not for the first time recently. And there we go. He captures a knight. So now it's bishop for knight. White has some fantastic chances on the dark squares, but the pawn structure around the white king has been weakened. Magnus moves his queen forward. Faustino needs to be careful. This is a blitz game. He's been spending a long time on the clock. He looks over there. He needs to start mobilizing his pieces. The white king is going to be a problem long term now. Faustino wanted to attack on this game, but it looks like the shoe is on the other foot. He brings his rook across first, putting some pressure along the F file, using the white queen, rook, battery against some of the black pawns. Can Magnus go for it now? Can he go for the white king? Or does he have to take a timeout? He's not looking comfortable, Magnus Carlsen. He's not enjoying this position so much. Faustino still looking confident, staring down Magnus. The clash of the generations. Who will prevail? Magnus calmly, slowly moves his rook forward. He defends some pawns, getting ready to stack up his rooks, potentially on an open file behind the black knight. Faustino, can he continue making threats? Nope, not yet. He takes a timeout. He shuffles his king across. Very sophisticated move. Very calm for such a young player. Magnus also pausing now. What to do? Which pieces to bring into the battle? It's the rook. That was the only piece doing nothing. It centralizes. Some pressure now potentially against white's bishop if the black knight moves out of the way. How will Faustino react to that? Tapping his fingers there, starting to look a bit nervous for the first time in this game as he retreats. A good move there, keeping the white king safe. Bishops are long-range pieces. They're decent even on the first rank, and Magnus pushing pawns. He's actually creating a nice square for the black knight to jump to next move. That is clever. Always pushing pawns against the enemy king tends to be a good idea. Faustino, though, playing good moves, and Magnus does indeed jump with his knight. That knight is getting scarily close to the white king, but Faustino going forward. Wants to change the momentum here. Wants to play on the front foot, attacking the black queen now. Magnus's queen almost trapped, only has a few safe squares. Is he going to go forward? Is he going to go back? Looks like a safety first retreat move there from the world number one. And Faustino getting excited, leaning forward, but the clock is playing a factor. Both players now under the 1 minute mark. The white rook slides across. Magnus frowns. Notice how he's fiddling with the pawn himself. That's normally a nervous tick. He knows it's not easy, and there we go. He attacks the white queen, only encouraging Faustino to go forward, and he does. Really high quality game so far, and Magnus goes for white's back rank. No time notice for the white bishop to come out to h6. That would threaten checkmate, but white's king is the first in the firing line. The queen goes back. Faustino's lost a bit of time there. He's lost 2 moves, and Magnus getting nervous, changes his mind last minute, trades off the rooks. Goes for white's central pawn now. The d pawn is doomed. Faustino, though, grabs a pawn of his own. Luckily, the black king has an escape square, and, ooh, not the best square for the white queen this time. He slides it across. Magnus there shores up his king position, and, ooh, seconds left for both players now. A queen exchange. Ooh, he trades queens against the endgame genius that is Magnus Carlsen. That might be a mistake by Faustino. Now look at the black knight, so strong, cemented by a pawn on an outpost. White's bishop is paralyzed. We're in the endgame. This is where Magnus really thrives. The king's coming forward. Magnus has a 3 versus 2 pawn advantage on the right flank. And that could be decisive. There we go. He's pushing pawns. White is playing without the king, without the bishop. He gives a check, Faustino, but it's harmless. It doesn't do anything. Magnus has fixed the pawns there. The king goes forward. The rook slides across, and Magnus has got targets. He's going to win a pawn. Look how centralized, beautiful the black king is now. Faustino with seconds left. Finally gets his king off the back rank. Finally, maybe the white bishop can move. But no, some checks. Magnus is about to go 2 pawns up now. The king drops back to attack the rook and resigns. Faustino gives up.
That was intense.
Magnus gets it in the endgame.
I think you had a good position there.
Yeah, I believe in the end, before trading queens, I was good.
How was it playing Magnus over the board instead of online?
Yeah, different, completely different. Over the board, you don't have the premos. Playing online, you can flag him or these things. But no, really happy to play Magnus.
Thank you.
Thank you.